Chair will entertain a motion to approve the transfer of operating funds from the general fund to the police fund.
So moved.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the grant matching fund transfer from general fund to street department fund?
So moved.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Susan? I slipped right in the back. Sneaky.
Yeah, well, I thought we had already started, and I don't like to interrupt, so. A couple things I have for you this evening. Just to let you know, the county awarded the bid on East Cherry Street on Wednesday last week to ProGrade. So that is moving right along. I'm waiting to hear back from them in regards to potential schedule as far as what they're thinking. So as soon as I know that, I will let you guys know. I have a change order and a pay request from Rose Excavating for the water line on Washington Street. The change order includes $1,425 for the culvert repair, or not culvert repair, but the culvert removal down at D. Frederico. When they were digging that up to make the connection, they actually found an old culvert in there that had originally had 2 pipes in it, and then they had to take that out and kind of rework that pipe so that we didn't end up having a suck hole there after they were done. And if either one of you guys want to say anything about any of that, please feel free to jump in. I know Chris was aware of it, and I'm sure he kept his board apprised of what was going on down there. It is something that was actually the township's. So what I intend to do is I will be meeting with them here in the next month or so, and I'm going to talk with them about possibly maybe trying to see if they can split it with you and pay you part of the like $700 back, because it is theirs. But, you know, obviously you were digging there.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think there's some responsibility on both sides, but, you know, it was theirs, and whoever did what they did in there didn't do it right to begin with, and so therefore you guys kind of ended up having to fix it. So, the other thing has to do with, it's $1,390 for the repair of a damaged water service. That was the water service that came out of what used to be Long Box, and it actually went kind of in a weird angle. And so when it was kind of mismarked, meaning they hit it because they dug in a place that wasn't marked, not realizing it was there, and then damaged it. And so then they had to repair that. But because it wasn't within the tolerance of the markings, then it's kind of not their cost to fix. If they hit something that's marked, then they have to fix it on their own dime because they weren't being careful enough. But when they hit something that's not marked and everything's supposed to be marked, then they kind of go the other way. So the total is $2,815. We do have some contingency money that we build into the loan, so I don't anticipate that we're going to use all of that, but we can take this out of that. So, any comments?
Do you have anything, does the board have anything to add to this?
I guess I was understanding our guys fixed part of that.
And who did the marking? Was
Your
it, who said, our guys did?
I think what happened was, I think if I remember right, like they tied onto it and then there was a gas line, and so then they kind of mismarked it because of this gas line. And I don't know if you remember when it happened down there, and then they had to basically shut off the water. I think it was shut off overnight. I think you guys might have provided some of the parts for it, but they actually did all the work.
Okay.
And I
The
think
Vector
there was-
line they hit, they will have to take care of that, is that
Yeah, the
correct?
Vector line is totally on that. That has nothing to do with us, and that's between them and Vector. So, you know, even if it was mismarked and Vector knows them or whatever, that's still within Vector. So, but this has to do with that water service, and I think it went at like some crazy angle.
It didn't go straight to the.
Yeah, and that's what
Oh,
happened, was
correct.
they hit it
think there actually might have been 2 service lines going in there.
You might be right about that.
I think there was 2 service lines going to the land road. For some reason.
Yeah, and then that's why one of them didn't get marked, because they found one on there.
That's where that piece of pipe come from that we had here
Yeah.
at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Wasn't bigger.
So anyway, okay, other questions, comments?
So you are all right with us going ahead and signing off on these? On the
I believe
changes?
so.
All right, we'll get that done. Because the board has no objection, the council move to approve the change orders on the Washington Street water line project. Second. Sorry.
Thank you.
That was me.
Mary Jane.
Did you say that?
No,
She
I made the
moved it.
motion.
I
She
seconded.
seconded.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
Peggy. Luther.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Okay, well, the next thing I have is I have the next pay request, and it is basically in the amount of $64,305.32. It's for most of the remainder of the actual main line, except for the actual tie-in itself. And then some of the T's and the gate, all the gate valves. And then, obviously, we aren't paying for any of the services yet, because they're not in yet. There's still $54,957 remaining that you're still holding. So the amount to approve is $64,305.32.
Is there a motion to approve the second payment in the amount of $64,305.32 to Rose Excavating and Development?
So moved.
Mary Jane.
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
Luther.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
There's 3 of those.
This is-
Sign them from.
Okay, so that's
Yep.
one there. Okay. Okay.
And then there's 3 change orders, and you'll need to
Okay.
sign those.
Okay.
And then I'll just go ahead and go on, if you don't mind. The Spring Street Bridge project, as you remember, you approved the soil borings at the meeting last month. They've been staked, so there's some orange paint out there in the 2 places where the borings are going to occur. Once I know when those will be, I will contact Mandy, and then Jimmy will kind of need to help with some closing the road down while they're down there doing the boring. So it might be a day or 2, and then they'll basically fill those holes back in, and they'll be gone, and the road will be covered. So I'll let you know when that happens, if you can assist there. Lastly, I have a resolution for the Land and Water Conservation Fund that we talked about last month for the park. And I have sent this to Jacob, and he sent me back an email this afternoon that said, I have reviewed the proposed resolution and I approve it as village solicitor. Thank you for your consideration, and you should have gotten that same.
I've not got it yet.
Okay, it was 5/19. So you
Knocking on
probably
my
weren't
email.
looking at that point. So basically this, I'm sorry. So basically this is just kind of their fill in the blank resolution that they require, and it basically just authorizes the submission of the application and authorizes Kathy to sign it as mayor.
Okay, people, we're just going to go through this real quick. Resolution number 2018-021, resolution authorizing the mayor to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Land and Water Conservation Fund program and to execute contracts as required, and declaring an emergency. Whereas the state of Ohio, through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, administers financial assistance for public recreation purposes through the Federal Land and Water Conservation Program, and whereas the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio, desires financial assistance under the Land and Water Conservation Fund, now therefore be it resolved by the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio, as follows. Section 1, that the Council of the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio approves filing this application for financial assistance. Section 2, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file an application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and to provide all information and documentation required to become eligible for possible funding assistance for the community park/pad development project. Section 3, that the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio, does agree to obligate the funds required to satisfactorily complete the proposed project and become eligible for reimbursement under the terms of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Section 4, that Moat and Associates Incorporated of Greenville, Ohio, is hereby authorized to represent the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio, regarding the engineering aspects of this project. Section 5, this resolution is hereby declared an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Village of New Paris, Carroll County, Ohio, as there is a time limitation for the application of such financial assistance, and this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval by the mayor. Is there a motion to approve this resolution 2018-21? Is there a second?
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Is there a motion to forego the three reading rule and declare an emergency and pass this on a single reading?
Motion made. Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Then the other thing that we don't have to decide today, but we'll obviously have to decide by your next meeting, is kind of what that share is. We talked about putting an additional $50,000 with the $200,000 that you already have through the capital bill, so we can ask for $250,000. I don't know if you've thought about that anymore, or look through your funding dollars to feel comfortable about that. If you would be approved for the money and we get the grant, you basically have until June of 2020 to do the work, so it would give you all of 19 and get to save money if you needed to. So I guess I don't know if you talked about that anymore, or you feel pretty comfortable with that, or you want to wait until next month to decide that.
I will say that we have been holding on to, and I think I said this at our last meeting, some estate tax money that we've had that has finally cleared and is eligible to be spent. But we've been holding it for this purpose, to see if we can match some funds to help get that cleaned up there. It's, I believe, $34,000 and some odd dollars. We also have, which we want to take time right now to, because I think we had such a time having a meeting in September that we forgot to thank the Jefferson Alumni Association. I'm not sure that we did it. If we did, I'll do it again. They gave us the remainder of their treasury when they disbanded. It was almost $3,000, $2,960-some.
$56.20.
I beg your pardon?
$29.56.27.
There you go. That's what it was. That money can also be added to this. That brings us up to, it might be close to $38,000 with that $3,000 and whatever extra we had. Well, $37 for sure. It's my opinion that we can, in the community, raise the remainder and come up with the remainder ourselves if we can't, if we fall short of the additional $50,000, but that should be doable. I don't know how all of you feel about that, but that would give us $500,000, and that would be a lot closer to being able to complete if we get this grant to complete that up there. Is there discussion on this?
No, I agree with you.
And if for some reason, let's just say that you couldn't come up with the 13 and we pledged it and then you couldn't really come up with it, let's just say, basically you could just spend up to whatever you did have. And then if you were say 10,000 short, then you just basically would spend 10,000 less and that you would, $10,000 as a grant would go back. But you wouldn't be like, the money wouldn't be taken away from you or anything like that. You would commit it up front, but if we saw that for some reason it wasn't going to work out, there's ways that we can cut the project back a little bit and you take, you put in less, but you get a little less. So, and I think if people in the community knew that you could lose, some free money, I have a feeling there's some people in the community that would step up and help you out.
I think it's a popular project. I think that we could come up with money. If there is, I will entertain a motion that we ask for $250,000 and put that up as our share.
I'll make that motion.
Good timing. Go ahead. No, that's okay. I'll second. Give it to you.
Got a lot of that going on tonight. Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yeah. Jennifer?
Yep.
Erin?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think that's good. I think it'll be great. Then the only other thing I just wanted to ask, have you guys done or had any planning meetings or anything like that related to the park within the community? I know there was kind of a group of people that were maybe kind of doing some stuff, and I didn't know if the chamber, the grant that we're writing, they're always looking for how did you involve the public in your decision to do what you wanted to do. I've used your Facebook page in the past where there were conversations about the park and what's going on at the park and people saying, oh, that would be really great if we could do something at the park to show that there's some interaction with the residents about what your decisions are related to the park. And they kind of ask those questions. And so that's kind of one of those areas that if you don't do something, you can kind of lose some points. And so I guess I just wanted to ask whether or not you guys did anything like that, whether maybe we could put up a notice that we were going to have a citizen input at the beginning of your November meeting to have people come and just have an opportunity to, give their opinions about the park, and we can kind of tell them, what we want to do and get their opinions, and it's just a way to be able to fulfill that little piece of the application so we don't lose some points because we didn't make an effort.
And this is a simple way to get them. And it would be foolish of us not to make this attempt.
Would be a good thing for at the Apple Fest to get a picture and stuff to lay down.
That's right, it is. And they've been involved with fundraising themselves to fund some things at the park, so I think we could mention that, but
Sure,
I think,
absolutely.
would the park committee want to advertise this and get it set up? I mean, we can do it right here, right?
I would just
should
do
you
it.
go around and just talk to the people in town about it?
I think
we
we
need
need to have a formal meeting.
Get input from the people in town?
I think it needs to be a formal meeting with a record of what was said and who was here and that kind of thing.
So invite the down people down
I
here.
think we need to invite them here.
We could just say that we're going to have it at 7 o'clock right before your meeting, or right after you open your meeting. We're just going to have a little,
My wife would love that, because I keep telling her to go talk to Ralph Duncan.
Thanks, we
You're welcome.
it would just be, and I can bring a sign-in sheet. I can make some little flyers if you want to post them in town for you. Like at the
I think that would
post
be
office,
wonderful.
the
If you are in
Dollar
favor
General.
of that, I think there should be a time limit that we set on it so we can get our regular business taken care of. So I don't know, what do you think?
Good idea.
Who does
They have a meeting down here you're talking about.
We'll start this meeting, we'll call this meeting to order and then to have a discussion. How long should that discussion last? Because we don't want to be here till 3 in the morning.
Right.
No, but give people,
Say 6 to
Maybe
7.
some other night besides your normal council meeting.
And we can.
Well, we
Can you
can.
just give each person like a time limit, like?
5 minutes.
3 minutes,
5
5 minutes?
minutes,
I know
something
a lot
like
of village councils get people in like 4, you got 3 minutes to say what you want to
That's what
say.
they do, yeah.
yeah, I think if you invite people down here, you'll get a lot of people. I think you'll be surprised.
Do you want to
I
hold it?
would be surprised.
No, I think you would.
And we don't have to do it on a council meeting.
No,
could
we
do it on
don't. I'm
a different
asking
night.
what
It really
council
doesn't matter.
would like to do. Would you like to have a special evening set aside just for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have a half an hour.
I think it would be good to have it before the meeting because maybe that would give some of those people an interest in what's going on here.
I don't object to that. I want a time limit though.
Yeah,
You
I'd
wanna
say
allow
6 to
people
7.
You want to do it earlier then? You want to start
Earlier.
at 6:30
Yeah.
and maybe go to 7:30?
6 to 7.
6 to
6 to
7.
Give everybody 3
An
minutes.
hour,
like
Whatever
you
it,
said.
and the rest of, that's my suggestion.
Is there any discussion on that?
If you do that on a council meeting night, then that interfere with EPA meeting.
Well,
Ours is not normally on your night.
You just have a holiday.
We just did it because of holiday.
Good.
One in November, we probably did okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill 2 birds with one
Yeah.
stone.
So, the November meeting is November 5th. Oh, Lord, the next day's election.
Always.
We'll be here all night.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
Usually those nights run
We're stopping
longer
at
than
7.
normal.
They usually do. Okay. This is there a motion to meet from 6 to 7 with the public? Invite the public to meet with us and express opinions and wishes about the park project.
Make my.
Second.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Peggy,
Abstain.
Whitmer,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Okay. I'll work with Mandy if you want, or if the park committee wants to make some flyers, it really doesn't matter to me. They can just be something you make on your computer and print off and just post around town and any places you see that people put up flyers.
Yeah, I need it, okay.
Who's on
What's
the
it?
park committee?
Yeah. Need a date, we got a
Well,
date?
and Luther, the 5th.
Yeah, I'll print some, I'll make up something.
It'll be down here on November 5th from
So-
6 to 7.
Who is the park committee besides you and Luke?
We are.
We are as far
What
as the
happened to
village
the
council.
chamber and all those other?
Well, I think that we need to open up and get some of those people involved again, only because there's no communication going on, and we need to have that. I think it would be an asset to have people from the community as members. These are our council representatives. It's a
Yeah, I
committee
know.
just like sanitation and like ordinance and everything else. But with those two, I would think that it would be to our benefit to have some participation from people in the community, from different service
We
organizations.
did at one time, there were some from the chamber, a couple of the churches had representatives besides one from the council. But over a period of time, people came, moved, did different
I
things.
think maybe that would be something for us to look at again, what do you think? And maybe we can ask, well, I don't know, you think about what you want to do with this meeting. If you want to ask who might be interested in serving on an at-large park committee, or if you just want, yeah, you might want to do that. Have some people that you can invite ahead of time. Okay. I think you're going to make flyers. If you need help getting them out or
I started
whatever.
to say, how are we gonna get these delivered? I did this last time, and, ooh,
What I would do is I would just.
I went door to door.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would just print out about 5 of them, and I'd put one at the post office. Okay.
That-
Okay, I know some of the post offices are funny. The bank, you could do it at the
Half
Dollar
the people that
General
go to these
store.
places can't read.
You can
think
just
that'd
take
be
some.
necessary.
Make some up and lay a few here and there and let people come up. Post one and then put some
It's
extra.
ours. Who does the Facebook?
But we could get it to somebody.
No idea who.
Carry out or
It's
drive
not
throughs
really
get places.
I
I
said
agree
you
there.
create community Facebook.
When I
Yeah.
get
It's like-
Well, I think you need to let them put it on. I mean, we need to ask them if they would
Mary Jane
post it.
puts stuff on there all the time.
Yeah, Mary Jane's posted on there.
Are you sure?
what they do.
You can post that on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been on there since the last time I got chewed out.
Well,
But this will be a good
this
thing.
would be different.
Okay, I can
This
start
would
all
be just,
kinds of stuff. I'll do it.
all you have to do is put the little poster on. Have somebody put that on and advertise the meeting.
I got accused of so many different things I didn't even know was going on.
That was an eye opener, wasn't it?
No, I knew that would happen, but I thought I could make a difference, and I did. The bad one.
Oh, well, at least you did something.
At least they was talking.
Okay.
Well, why don't we do that, just to kind of like be able to try to fulfill that little piece, that'll help me have some stuff to write up and talk about, and I just think, that's something that's really simple to do, that's,
Yes.
every little thing
Think so,
helps.
too.
Okay. All right,
6
I think
to
that's-
7.
That's all I have.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you
very much.
They still have the communicator too,
Go ahead, no.
the new Paris News communicator.
Yep, yep.
Yes, and you can get it put in there too. We can get, if
Is,
you,
Deadline.
call Gatlin.
yeah, he's still,
Yeah,
you
I'll come up with the letter.
know where Colin lives, out on B Road?
Who?
Colin
I don't
Gatlin.
even know where B Road is.
I think he likes to have those, if I can get it, I can scan
Okay,
it.
you get it, I'll take it.
Take it and email it. Mary Janie, we can send it to him in an email. If I get a copy of it, I can scan it.
Okay.
and Put it in an email and send it. If somebody would just give me one when we're all done, okay? All right, thank you very much. Bonnie's not here. Safety, please.
All right, I'll start out with what the mayor asked me to bring up and everything. The incident that occurred last night, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. All I can say is that the 2 people were already apprehended shortly after the incident, and they are behind bars. So try to ease anybody in the village's mind on anything that's going on. Other than that, police department handled 112 calls for service in the month of September, made 16 reports, 1 arrest, 8 citations issued, 13 burns. Another thing that's stuck on here, National Trail had an active shooters training with the Brown County Sheriff's Department. Officer Stevens and myself also attended it, had a teacher in service day that same day, and the Brown County Sheriff's Department also was involved in that. That last minute. That's all I got.
Bring up the packet that we're gonna get from home.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Huh?
Oh,
Just explain to them what you
all right.
do.
I got with members of safety and the mayor and everything. Basically, every year I get little flyers in the mail. I get it for Police Week, Fire Appreciation, EMS Appreciation, Dispatch Appreciation. Every year during Halloween and everything, I get the same thing, wanting to purchase little gift bags, trick or treat stuff with safety tips on it and everything else like that. So I got with them and spoke to them. They all thought it was a good idea, so I went ahead and purchased bags that come with the drug safety, stay off drugs, stay away from drugs. Comes with a sucker in it and a bracelet, glow-in-the-dark bracelet for Halloween. I contacted the school and I'm hoping that they come in and they take it for the day.
I had slipped in the PO box, but they were closed. They do it.
To be able to go out to school and actually pass them out from the 4th grade and the kindergarten.
I thought it was a great idea. The bag was very nice, and Jeremy had a great idea. Thanks, Jeremy, for implementing that.
It was approved because it was within the limits that he was allowed to spend himself. But he did contact the safety committee to talk to me, and that's good community relations and PR,
It's a good
and nothing
thing.
else. Plus, yeah, we'll do a little tiny bit to try to battle this horrible drug situation. Thank you, Jeremy. Building.
Buildings all look good to me. I mean, I haven't seen anything wrong with them other than the bus building up here.
Yes.
I called to get some repairs on that, and I had 3 no-shows last week. Friday, I called Jim Robbins, I called Sheriff Goslin out of Richmond, I got a hold of American Roofing out of Lewisburg, and then Grossman Roofing out of Eaton. Supposedly, I've got a meeting tomorrow morning with American Roofing to give me an estimate. Nobody wants to do metal roofs, nobody wants to repair metal roofs, and everybody's telling me that, oh, we're commercial and an industrial now. Well, you know, I know all you guys are not commercial and industrial. And then, but hopefully, American and Jim Robbins will get with me. Well, I'm getting with American tomorrow and Jim Robbins hopefully on Wednesday to get an estimate.
Anybody have any other ideas where we could go for?
No, I've been all over the internet. I have called over 20 roofing companies. Huh?
A lot of no-shows?
I had 3 meetings to meet somebody up there and they didn't show. I mean, just, you know.
It's just too small a job to be interesting to most people.
It is, you know, and
We're
then,
getting late in the year, I would think that they have some time and want to fill it with something.
and when I spoke to Sheriff Goslin this morning, they told me, I talked to them guys for about 20 minutes on the phone, and they're like, you know, well, we do mainly residential, the big residential, we just don't do repairs anymore, but we will come out and take a look at it. We will call you when we're available. He said, but he said, the roofing industry right now, he said, is so busy. He says, you're going to have a hard time finding, just getting somebody to come out to look at a repair. And so I said, okay, not a problem. So I hung up, you know, and then I just kept on calling people. But I've got 2 people coming. I got Jim Robbins on Wednesday and then American Roofing tomorrow. See what they say.
We'll see where we are with that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luther. Nobody else has anything about building, right? We don't have anything going on down here, I hope. Streets.
A couple things on the streets, the storm sewer out of the intersection of Cherry and Lincoln has been fixed, where the water was running out over the sidewalk, and over the curbs, and where the tubing had been smashed down by trucks. And they flattened out where the water goes, at the people's yards. And then I was also approached by a couple of residents that would like to see stop signs at the intersection of Ring and Lincoln. There's a stop sign there, there's a yield sign, and then come out of the Lincoln going north, there's nothing. And that's a school bus stop and pickup area. And there's been some discussion by some of the residents in that area that they'd like to see a 3-way stop there instead of a stop and a yield at nothing. So I want to bring that to council's attention to see if it was okay to look into that and try to address that.
I'd say in my opinion, that it'd be a good idea to look into it, yes, and see, because, yeah.
Oh, and Jimmy's not here either, but I wanted to thank Jimmy for fixing, doing some work up on Hutton Street. And fixing a bunch of holes there, and then I had asked him to take care of some holes out by Wallace. And he took care of that. And then he got a couple other holes and that I had brought to his attention, and of course he's not here, but I want to thank him, you know, for doing that. He did a good job.
Well, I've got one. If you're gonna put a stop sign up at the end of Lincoln Street, how about putting a no outlet sign on the backside of that stop sign? Because we have people coming ripping up through there, and all of a sudden they run out of road, then they get mad and rip right on back down there again.
Okay.
So if you're going to a stop sign, please look at a no
Yeah, I
outlet
think
sign.
that's a good idea. You know, we live here, we all know it.
Yeah.
I guess everybody doesn't do it.
No, not everybody does. There's a lot of people.
Well, you live on
I
that.
think there's things that are going down Spring Street, and they get up there, they rip up through there. They come to Sweet's Hall up there, they come to the curb.
You're a resident on that street, do you have an opinion one way or the other about the stop signs and the
Well,
facing?
I I haven't, I've lived up there for several years now, I've never had an issue with coming down there, never even had a close call. I also drive a school bus, and the school bus there, it's got a stop sign on it.
Just on the one side.
And, so, there's,
No,
not
buses
anybody
stop.
messes around with buses, so I haven't seen an issue, I don't know where that's coming from. But I don't have any feelings either way, I just stop.
Chief, what about you? Opinion one way or the other?
I haven't heard any complaints about it, but you've heard some stuff.
Yeah, I was approached at the Apple Fest by a couple of residents of that area. I told them I'd bring it to council. See what we, good idea, bad idea, whatever.
I can't really see any advantage of it, I don't know, there's not that much traffic up there. People seem to yield. It's up to you.
But you would like to see a no outlet sign there, too.
Yes, that's been mentioned several times up there, because they do, people with Indiana plates on mostly, will come up here and think they're getting out of town some way, and they come up here, come to the street, and they're mad, and they turn around and tear down the street the other direction. Now, they're the ones that's gonna run the stop sign at the end. And
Yeah, it will be.
it's not your residents up there.
Yeah. Okay.
While you're on signs, a year or so ago, I brought up that sign up there on Holly Mills Road, the corporation limit sign. It's all faded, and you can barely see it in the
Yeah,
summer because of the tree.
Yeah, you said something about the brush area was
And
covered up.
it's never, but it needs painted or a new one or something because it's all faded out.
I'll take a look at that too. Brett will take a look at that and take a look at that too. Anything else on streets? Lights?
Yes. East Cherry Street, across from the Christian church.
Yes. Okay.
Is this light across from me at Bright's old place, is that on that property? Because I think it's out.
I think the one there by that building is Bright's.
Okay.
It's a personal thing.
Okay, can you take a look and get a number off that
I'll
light
look at it.
there on the
Where was the
Cherry
light?
Street there?
Where was the light at thing?
Cherry, right by the church.
Oh, okay. Not the Christian church? I got the number off of one down at White's Left.
Okay.
Give it to Mandy.
Okay.
Has been faxed.
It works
Hopefully,
partially.
Thank you.
The one you're talking about there, Christian church, that's what?
Yeah, it's out about
It's a part-time.
60% of the time.
It's dying.
Finance.
Do not either.
Okay.
I will have to get with you and you probably the next month. Next month is November, so sometime in November.
Budgeting.
Oh.
It's not like you do a lot of
Down here,
it
you
today.
got
It's pretty interesting, really, yeah, look at it. Thank you.
He was asked about the lighting.
Sanitation?
Last month, we did send out several letters. I think there might have been 23, but there was some mistakes on the addresses. And I think Peggy told me some of the registered ones or certified ones was returned, but they don't have to pick them up, and it costs a lot of money to send them out. Some of them went to one of them went to California. I don't remember what the other than the local ones, the police department delivers those. There was a list, I believe, that was given from you, Kathy, to
Yes,
Peggy
yes.
last meeting.
Yes.
And some of those I had checked on the swimming pool on Hutton Street. I just did not take the time to send a letter out or anything or contact anybody. That will be done. I do have a lot of the addresses Hutton Street, High Street.
Yes, it is High Street.
Is that Linton? Yeah. But our report was, it was the house, it says High Street, but I believe what they were complaining about was the pool that belongs to the trailer that sits on Hutton Street. There was a big pool, so a pool back there, and it was full of gunk and lots of bugs and mosquitoes.
It's not part of that High Street property,
I could not, there's a privacy around that.
but there are a couple of boards missing, and I think that's where it is. I think there's a pool there, it may be another.
Well, there's a pool in there, but I couldn't see. I was climbing and trying to just look, and I couldn't see. But anyway, I think the biggest, if there's any mosquitoes, it has to be coming from what I've seen too, maybe both of them.
Yes.
But I couldn't get to the other one, any place to take pictures or
And
anything.
the health department come in a case like that, where it's a public health hazard.
Good luck. They've been contacted several times about a lot of the properties here. The guy comes here and I ride with him all over town, and when it comes to court, I go ahead and send whatever I need to court. They never show up. So that's how that works. They also have rules that they go by on their procedures, but to me, it's never followed through because I've dealt with them at least 3 or 4 times on different properties here in town. The same thing when it gets to the court system, they are never told, according to the ordinance that we have now. We went to property,
There's a new one.
There is a new one, you voted on it?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
It has-
well, I haven't seen, I've read over that before it was approved. I don't know if there's any structure as far as instructions on the proper procedure. I was also waiting on information on being allowed on the property without credentials and the procedure as far as that goes. I know nothing about that yet. And I want to know, because I'm not going on anybody's property until I know exactly what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do, legal ways. And I have not had time to call the attorney or solicitor.
I am thinking that
And,
if these
but
violations
when
that we
what
passed,
did you pass?
what we passed was just the noxious weeds and the grass part.
Okay, and what,
Which makes it a misdemeanor
yes.
to not take care of your lawn. And in that case, a police officer can put a notice up there.
Up there where,
On the
on the
property.
house, on the property.
It's best my understanding that's
Yes, what
Okay.
it is we deliver it, or we would have Jeremy or somebody deliver it to the property. They have, I believe it was 15 days to make a change whenever the
Oh,
issue is.
15 days, that's more
It
than
might
what
be
it is
10.
now.
It might be 10.
I thought it was going to be 5.
There's like 10 or 15, and I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
But there was
But
10 or
there's
15.
not-
Oh, if it's
2,000 other
15, you
steps.
might as
Right.
well change it because 10 doesn't not
Thank you.
work.
I believe after the 10 or 15 days, let me see, then we can go, we have the right to send either a company on there privately to mow it or take care of it, or we can do it as the council,
Okay,
and then we could bill that resident.
without a second notice.
Correct.
Okay.
It really limits.
And what about the legal part as far as going on the property? Because I know, I heard that Greenville had a problem as such as some things was thrown away and now there's a big lawsuit against them.
You're
It is.
just cutting grass though and taking.
Right. It's
This
5
doesn't
days.
deal with that.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
Yeah.
just
Just
a
the trash and
weed.
stuff like that. That's what it is.
You can't go into a car or anything.
It's a 5-day
But
period.
Okay, well,
And then after the 15th, that is when, because we have 3 times that we could if we wanted to. But after that first initial day,
Uh-huh.
we could send either a private company onto the property to mow it, or we
Okay.
could go on as a village and mow it, and then we can bill them.
okay.
Okay?
And they're to pay it where? Here?
It-
Where?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on
Yeah.
if we're doing a private company
Uh-huh.
or if we're doing the village. It depends on if we send us on there to take care of it, they can come here and pay us. If we take care of a private company, have them come in to do it.
So that's not been determined yet how.
Well, I don't
We
think
have-
private company will come if we don't pay them.
Right.
That
We
should
have-
be in the ordinance.
We have the option to call somebody, and I don't think we discussed if we're gonna continuously do it, or if we're gonna call
Well,
somebody.
you need to find out if I'm gonna have to, if I'm gonna enforce this. I need to know and I need it to happen.
And I agree, but we need to figure out what we wanna do
Well,
with the
then
village.
that ordinance isn't any good until that happens.
Would you prefer to send the village on? And have
If
one
it's
of
in the
our-
village, yeah. Or if not, there's a guy that does mowing now for the properties that are repoed and set and empty.
Okay.
New Madison, it's Randy, Scar? Scar.
Shar.
Out, he lives in New Madison.
So we have some options, and if we have, because if there's a
Yeah,
private
and-
individual in the village, like.
Either
But we
way,
need to get on that.
they can come here to pay it.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they should.
And it doesn't matter, if we hire somebody, we pay them, and then they're billed for it.
Yeah.
If they don't pay it, I think you can take them to court.
But it
and
needs to
then-
be in
But
writing.
it is.
Oh, here,
It is.
Okay,
you can read through it.
okay. I'll make a copy. Is this yours?
That's the original.
Oh, okay, I'll get a copy of it.
But if they refuse to pay, we don't have it by a certain time, then they can be taken
I
to
think
court. It's a
it's 30
misdemeanor.
days, yeah.
And then they have court costs plus the payment of what they owe.
But that doesn't clean it up. Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay,
clean it
yeah,
up.
the-
We take
the-
care of it,
the
yes.
bill, yeah,
As
whoever.
far as weeds and things like that, it's done.
Okay, I need to
We'll
get,
get you a copy of that.
Yeah.
you know, acquainted with all this too. And what about the junk and the rest of the,
Well, if we're
Junk
gonna look at
cars is
that.
something different.
yeah,
And
I
so
think we discussed about turning that over to the police department.
We're gonna look at all of it separately because it has different types of procedures that have to be
Yeah.
followed and different penalties that can be applied.
Yeah,
So that's why Mr. Kovach pulled it out in the first place. This one was a simple one. It could be greatly simplified and taken care of quickly.
So
These
this-
others, we're not done with it yet.
okay. But you are done with the grass and the weeds?
We are.
Yes.
We are done with that part.
And this is, was it passed as an emergency?
Yes, it was. So you may start using that right now as soon as you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
We don't have any option, we must use it.
Well, yes.
Well, yeah, does it, well, I have to read it. It should state something about overriding the old one somewhere in here. I'll read it later, but,
We want to make sure.
anyway, I just need clarification and know what's legal and what
I agree.
isn't legal.
Yes.
And I read the minutes from the last meeting, and it was, you discussed about getting a enforcement officer. That title was given to me several years ago, and
I didn't say we're going to do this.
no,
I said,
I
let's talk
know,
about
I
it.
said, it states in here that you discussed it, and I was just wondering what was going on. I know I've put a lot of time and
I
my
know you
own
have.
money into
I know
this.
you have.
And if you don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job
That's
or
not
anything.
it. I think you.
But
need
you
some
want to,
help.
it states you want to pay somebody to do it. Why? There's enough people here that have plenty of time to do it. I don't agree with paying anybody.
Well, that's what we need to know. That's the kind of thing we need to
And
talk
the
about.
police department used to do a lot of it, and I volunteered at whatever year it was to do this, and that's when they made me.
Police department did what?
Done the sanitation, all of it.
I don't think they have time
At times they do, yes. And Jeremy has helped me out, and some of the other officers in the past have taken pictures and brought to me, and I've sent letters out.
I'm not saying you're not doing a good job. I'm wondering if you don't need some help, if it wouldn't be good to have somebody.
Well, it should be better now because of that old ordinance and the process we was going through. You give them
I'm
10.
hoping it will be, yes.
Yeah. Give them 10 days, and then you have to go back and check it, and then give them another 10 days on the second notice. And then if they didn't do it, you had to get all your
paperwork and your
records
photographs
together,
and
give it to
everything else,
Jeremy. He
yes.
had to waste his time going to court. And then they never made the people clean the property up. They took the money, but they never made it, and the purpose is to get it cleaned up.
I agree.
So that's just some things that I wanted to go over with everybody and let them know where I was coming from, and I needed clarification on what's going on.
I don't want you to think that I thought you weren't doing a good job. I just thought it might be useful to have somebody help you. You'd still have to run it.
Yeah.
You would still be in charge of filing everything and everything
It
else.
doesn't
You
matter
have
if
to.
I'm, it just needs to
No,
be
I mean,
done.
yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
but there was a lot.
So you're saying like if you got a place that needs to be, they've been served a letter and then they need their yard mowed, weed whacked, cleaned up, whatever needs to be done, you think that
If it's cleaned up, fine, and then we go through.
No, if they don't do
Oh,
it.
if they don't,
yeah, then you think that the town
that's what they were doing.
The town
with
should
the
do it
old-
itself, the town, the council.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like the process that we're getting ready to go into, because it's gonna make the village look a lot neater. But before it took, summer was over with, before anything got done. And now this should move it.
We're
If
hoping
it works
that's-
right.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for.
But there's so many people that play the system here, and you can't get anything done.
Does the town have the equipment to go in and like do these
They
smaller
have
yards
a
and stuff
mower,
like that? I'm not
they
talking
mow
about
the
these big lawnmowers that they go to school with.
Oh,
I mean, I'm talking about, if you're gonna go out and help somebody clean up their property.
I don't know if they do or not.
You know,
Jimmy.
because I don't think,
runs the
I mean, I'm sure people would volunteer to go and help.
Yeah,
but I
there's
don't know
lots
that
of
people's
people
gonna
that
load up
would
their own
love
personal
to.
equipment to
Yeah.
go do that.
Randy does it, he does a good job, he said if there was any more that needed, he would do it. Just let him know when and where. But there's other people that can do it too, it doesn't matter who, just so it gets done.
And
On
part
the
of,
time that we say it needs
Yes.
to be done.
and part of the key is keeping ahead of it or keeping up with it,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't grow up so much that you can't tell that there's a boulder in there, or that
Right.
somebody's got a doghouse buried in all these weeds. You know what I mean? And they're going in there and
Yeah.
running into it and ruining their equipment. That's something we want to avoid.
Yeah.
And if we
Well,
just,
they'll just have to walk through it like.
well, but if we get to it
Yeah, it should.
before
Yeah.
it gets that bad, we'll know those things.
Yeah.
They can see those things.
The other ordinance stated it 8 inches tall.
And I think
I
that's
don't
what
know
this
what
one
this
says
one
too.
says.
I believe that's what this
6?
one.
6.
That's even better.
Or was it?
6
I
inches.
thought,
Okay.
whatever, I didn't think that got changed, but take a look at it.
Yeah.
Make yourself a copy. And,
If it's like the other one, I read it. I need to keep going over it until I get it in my system.
Whatever it's 6.
okay,
It's right there.
8 inches, okay.
is there anything else for sanitation? It was 8, is that correct?
Yeah.
Planning board hasn't had anything, I don't think, I've not heard anything, and the BPA,
One thing we had was that the water project is continuing now. Hopefully, it's going to be completed next week. If we run into no further difficulties or changes, anticipating it'll be finished next week. Also, at our meeting tonight, we did vote and raise the water rates $2.50 per month on the minimum bill only. We're not raising overage, we're just raising the minimum. So the minimum, which is now $37, will go to $39.50. We did a survey of the surrounding villages and everything, and we're still towards the lower end. And an increase will go on effective January the 1st of 19. We've not had a raise from that time for 5 years.
There will be a resolution for council to pass at the November meeting authorizing that 250 increase. So we can conduct that. But it pays the bill for this water line that had to be replaced, and that didn't happen 1 minute too soon. For those of you who had the meeting the last time, it was pretty distorted, that line they took out. Rusted from the outside, and it needed to go. Anyway, we'll do that at our November meeting.
I have something else
Yes, ma'am.
on sanitation.
Okay.
That Shanks ditch, you had left a message and I checked out a tree that had fallen, and then a couple of days or the same night or something, we had a flood. How does that fit in with the new ordinance? I know this is the one from 1991-08 about the debris being in the creek.
Yeah.
So if
Well, I think that's a different thing.
It is different, but it's still weeds and trees and growth, so now what?
It's not covered. I can tell you that. It's not covered in this new one. This deals mainly with lawns and that. So we'll have to look, Mary Jane. We do have something from 91 in effect.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. It didn't flood. The hope is across the street, which was our big concern.
I thought I heard someone mention something about West Water Street and that area had been flooded, but I don't know that it was caused.
I don't think it was that ditch especially. It was from the river.
Okay.
It was from the Whitewater.
I was totally surprised that Shanks ditch worked as well.
I was too, but then
Okay.
it had been, that bridge had been cleared underneath.
I don't know
just
how to
like that.
handle it now. If you go and give them 10 days to clean it up, that's a mess. It's going to take 10 weeks, I think.
I was
to clean
mostly
it up.
concerned with the tree grabbing other debris and holding it there during high water periods. That whole ditch needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs to be cleaned up, but you
But
gotta be
it's their
careful.
property owners.
Yes, it is, and you have to be careful that you don't strip everything out of there, or the bank is gonna fall in.
So we probably need another updated
We may, that's
process
the next thing
for
we'll
this
have
ordinance before we do
for cleaning,
anything.
and for ditches and
Because we're
drainage.
going to be right back in the same boat. If they don't want, the people don't want to do it, we need a process to go through to enforce it.
And we're talking about drainage ditches
And
and,
Rocky Fork,
and,
maybe.
yes, okay. So that's a different thing we need to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. If you want.
I know the last time Rocky Fork was cleaned out, they found automobile bodies and everything.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I am not a bit surprised. Not a bit. Erin's working with you on these things, so she can,
Okay. Pardon me?
We'll get something written up.
Yeah, you can get the one you have right now, see if you can't simplify that a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll get it enforced. And what we'll do, Mary Jane, is just make a booklet of all these sanitation ordinances. We'll just put them all in a booklet, you know. We'll have them categorized however they normally are back here. But as far as
Put them
people,
each in a separate folder and just maybe. put it
whichever,
in
yeah,
one
I mean, they just
Yeah.
need to be put
That would
together in a
work.
book, and that
Yeah.
way you'll have everything in one spot with all the different procedures, all the different penalties, and everything else for each one that's appropriate.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
all righty, thank you. Resolution and ordinance. We have resolution 2018-19, request to amend the 2018 Certificate of Estimated Resources. This is in here primarily to do with the loan proceeds from the Washington Street water line. That's money that has to be
Which
accounted for.
ordinance is that?
This is Resolution 2018.19,
Okay,
to amend the certificate. All we're doing is adding to our estimated resources for the 2018 year, the $195,000 proceeds from the loan for the water line. That's all this deals with, this particular one. Changes the balances of the fiduciary funds. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-19, which accounts for this additional income?
I make a motion that we approve the resolution 2018-19 requested an amended 2018 certificate of estimated resources.
Is there a second?
Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Peggy?
Yes.
Luther?
Yes.
Aaron? Ken? Yes. Ralph?
Due to time constraints, is there a motion to forego the three reading rule, pass this as
So
an ordinance?
moved.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Luther?
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yes.
Ken? Yes. Ralph?
Yes.
Resolution 2018-20, resolution to approve a realignment of the permanent appropriation resolution, following appropriations from one account to another within the fund. These are places within the general fund where money has been moved for one place it was supposed to be spent in the general fund to another place in the general fund. It's not money going in and out or anything else. So in the general fund, we had a total of $1,488.27, realigned. In the water, we had the $195,000 for the $195,000 for the loan, plus an additional $2905 that was appropriated to a different area in the water fund. In the street fund, we have a total of $1,861 that was appropriated one way and then realigned to cover costs in the street fund. And in the police fund, we have $1,247.05 that was moved from one category to another within the police fund. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2018-20, moving funds within a fund, not from back and forth to different funds, to different appropriations, to realign them?
Motion made.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther? Aaron? Ken?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 21. Yes, we do. Is there, because of the time constraints, because if we wait, we won't get it in by the end of the year. Could we have a motion to forego the three reading rule and pass this as an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron? Ken?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
And since we've already talked about Resolution 2018-21, and agreed to apply for $250,000 in matching funds from the Department of Natural Resources. We're done with that, and we've also talked about the Jefferson alumni donation to the park, which we say again, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. In unfinished business, trick or treat night.
And what night is that?
Well, that's what you're going to decide. And as I said last month, this is the 1st of October. If Richmond is setting it tonight, we don't know. So, you know,
Richmond usually has theirs on Halloween night,
that's the Wednesday.
last,
Last day of the month.
yeah.
That's
And
the
most
31st.
everybody did last year, so
I think there's some on the 30th and
trick or treat
some on the
night or
31st.
whatever.
Do whatever you want, but I need to know. Somebody want to move to make that on one of
Yeah,
my...
Let's just leave it on half full, I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to say make a motion to
Go
leave
ahead,
it on,
go ahead.
on October 31st.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Luther?
Yes.
Aaron? Yes. Ken?
I We need to set the time in there too. Would you amend that?
6 to 8.
Thank you, Luther. You voted. Can you vote now?
Second.
Want to second the amended?
Second the amendment.
Okay, now we're going to vote again.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
Luther.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I want to remind everybody that Mandy is going to be gone to mandatory fiscal officer training on October 11th. Our office here will be closed that day. Is there unfinished business or any new business? I'm sorry. Anybody have any business? I hear none. I don't have any communications for anybody that I can, off the top of my head, think of. I hope everyone got the opportunity to do the public comment on the hazard mitigation that we talked about. I think that was over here, I think it went at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, hopefully that will get passed. And then if there are any grants to be had, you know, because we are a member of that and have participated in the mitigation and have, the, you know, we're eligible for funds. And of course, if there's a horrible tragedy, some kind of hazardous thing happens here, we're going to be eligible to be part of whatever government funding or whatever's available to us.
It would help to contact all the organizations such as Kiwanis Chamber of Commerce, everybody that have the cars show up there for the park. And have a letter in writing, they always accept those, and those help a lot towards getting that grant for the school.
As a part of the grant,
Yeah.
we'd like to have letters from those places, do you think? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
the sorority, all the organizations. The American Legion has donated a lot. They could send a letter stating how they feel about the park and the donations they've given. The same as, I think, Wanda Melody was the head of
Yes,
the
what?
car show.
She and one of the stewards.
Maybe Judy Yen could get a letter for the alumni or whoever the secretary was. I don't remember
Yeah.
now.
I think Carol might have been secretary. But if any of them could do it,
I think
Susan
she
might be able
was.
to do it too.
Yeah.
Susan Corrigan, Susan
Just
Reed.
whoever you think, organizations, Kiwanis has always been good in the chamber and the American Legion. That gives us lots of extra points.
When we meet, then
We
Susan
need all the
can
help we can get.
We do. This really,
On everything.
if we get this, it'll be amazing. It will be, you know,
Yeah.
I hope we can get. And yes, you
Well, did we send anything to thank the senators for helping us get that money for their help?
We did. We
Did we?
did. I spoke to both of them personally.
Yeah,
And you
we
did too.
talked to them, yeah,
Yes,
at the
but,
school.
I talked to them, they were both in town for a
For
information.
Oh.
And I
Oh,
saw them
okay.
then, and by then, it was all pretty much approved.
Have you been to any land bank meetings?
Land Bank isn't dead, but they're dragging their feet awfully hard on it, and that would be such a help to us.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, they would have a procedure that, you know, it would really be a benefit.
Yeah.
We don't want these properties. What are we going to do with them? We just have to maintain them. We want them cleaned up and something done with them, and that land bank could see that that happened. I mean, I don't even think
Yeah.
the schools, they didn't object.
I'll
You know, they met with
contact
the
Bill,
schools.
what's his name, and see get an update on it and give it.
Who's that?
Bill, I can't remember his last
It
name.
wouldn't be Bill Hutton anymore.
Oh, really?
No. But you can also, you can talk to the I mean, we have
Who's
talked,
who? Oh, Mary Boland is on that too.
Yes.
I can talk to her.
we can talk to me, I'm on it.
Okay.
And they're dragging their feet.
So who took Bill's, what happened to Bill?
He left, he's doing some other things.
Oh, okay.
And Clinton Gent is doing his job now, admin foundation.
I don't think I know him.
He
But
was,
I will.
you will, that's exactly right, you will. Want to talk to somebody, talk to the commissioners. That's where it's sitting. It's right there. Anyway, that's where we are, Glen Bank. I don't have anything else, does anybody else have anything needs to be brought up?
He got to get some volunteers to get the signs out for the police department.
And they are not available this evening because I didn't get anybody to get them down early enough. But they're gonna get them down tomorrow. I would like you guys.
Where do we
as
put
many-
these signs?
I beg your pardon?
Where do we put these signs, like in your yards and stuff?
Yes, they're a yard sign. They're the kind on the metal.
Well, yeah, I'll have to do that.
They'll be down tomorrow. So if you want to come by tomorrow afternoon,
Just get them up and put them, get
just
permission to put them
pick
in
up
the
one
yard or
and see
something like
who
that.
has permission, who will give you permission to put them there. We can all put ours up. We can, I don't know if the board members would allow us to use, we can ask them if they
Are
want
we
to
allowed
there.
to put so many between the sidewalk and the street, that little median there, because that's not really, that belongs to the town, doesn't it?
Well, it's maintained by the homeowner.
Yeah, but it belongs to the town. I think.
I don't
Don't
know.
know, Rob?
It's yours.
Huh?
It's yours to maintain.
Yeah, but I mean,
But the town can tell you what to do with it.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, what he's asking is, do we want to?
Yeah, so if I stick a sign out there and somebody
You'll have to
comes
worry about
running
it.
out there,
You'll have to worry about anybody coming, doing it.
What about, if I contact the election board and get a sample copy of the levy and get it in that communique?
That would be fine too. That would be fine. It's very simply written and understandable.
Yeah. And a need for it.
Well, the thing about it is, we're pouring a lot of our general fund money
I
into
know.
the police. We'll still be doing that, but we can't keep up with their needs that way. This will assist us and allow us to better serve them and still have funds to do some things. I mean, if we have to shove it into streets and fill more potholes, if we have to, whatever. If we get more money from one place, it frees up what we've been putting in the police fund to use somewhere else. And there's a need.
I know that. We just
know,
need to get
that's
that.
right, that's what we have to get out there. Because there's a need in all areas for funding. We're not hooey wild with it anywhere with money. So, if we can get this passed, it allows us to do at least $27,000 can go somewhere else to fill a gap that we can't meet right now. Or 20,000 or whatever it is. Okay?
It's a good deal.
Okay, next meeting, November 5th. We will be here at 6 for a park meeting, a public
Yes.
meeting at 6.
Yes.
And then we will adjourn that public meeting and go to work at 7.
Yes.
So maybe we could get out of here by
Time for the
Yeah,
election next morning.
we just need a big broom.
Fly home.
Sweep them out. No, it'd be too late to fly. We will have been flying the week before.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So move.
Second.
Mary Jane?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.